What's going on, KEO fans? Got a brand new video set up for you here today. We're going to do a test on the aiming system, going to go through the differences between the three different aiming types and kind of how they impact how your car shoots and what kind of damage you can do to everything. I got a nice spreadsheet at the end I'm going to show you. Before we get to that, I'm going to go ahead and kind of go through the methodology that I used and kind of where these numbers came from. I will do my best to keep this brief. There's a lot of information here, but like I said, I'll do my best to kind of keep it as brief as possible. Just so we can get to the real data here. So here we are in KEO. We're gonna hit play. We're gonna first let's check the aiming mode. So let's go to the garage. Here's our car. You can select the little gun icon, and they're in the top, and then down at the bottom you see your aiming mode. So currently I'm on locked. So there's three types. There's locked, which is automatically locked, fully locked. You've got assisted, which kind of helps you out a little bit, and then we've got fully manual, which gives you no aim assist or anything like that at all. So let's start with locked. Let's go ahead and go to play, practice junkyard. We've got target practice and battle bot. We're gonna stay away from the bot for now, the punching bag, and let's go right to target practice. All right, so once we load in here, so just to show you kind of how this works, this is on the fully assisted mode, or what they call locked. So you can see that shows you a target. You can kind of scroll through the targets with Q and E. So let's just take a shot at this target. Now, what you'll notice here in locked mode is there's no actual cursor to see exactly where you are. And the reason for that is it doesn't matter where you shoot. You're going to get this 32 no matter what. So you see 32 popping up on the screen. And what you can even do to kind of test it, it's kind of quick, but you can shoot and then look. Even when I'm facing completely the other way, I am getting 32 every single time. Every single shot. Doesn't matter where I aim. As long as it's on it, I'm putting 32 as long as it's got a little bit of line of sight. Now, it cannot shoot, as you can see, through that wall, right? So it doesn't work there. But as long as the bullet can actually hit it, we're just going to get 32 everywhere, all over the place, on every target. So that is fully locked mode. No matter what you do, it's 32, as long as it has line of sight to hit it. So now let's go back, and let's go to assisted mode. This is actually the one that I generally use, and I basically wanted to go through this information and find out if I actually should be using this one. Is this really the best mode for me? So garage, stinger, guns, click where it says locked, go to assisted mode, and let's go back to play, practice junkyard, target practice. So this is the in-between mode. This is the one that gives you some assistance, basically, like it says. So, all right, this one's going to take a little more to test, but let's get in a good spot. So here's our target. Again, we have that aiming set up. You can see the gun moving around, Q and E. So let's use this one. So now let's hit it dead on. Before we were getting 32. Okay, now we get 46. As long as we're on it. Now what you'll notice is, and we'll kind of wait on that one to respawn, there's a range here where you get 46. So as long as you are within this range, you're getting 46. So let's find the edge of that range. So here we are. I don't know, what is that, like 15 feet or something? I have no idea. I can't measure KEO feet, but let's assume we're that many feet away. 46. Now, right there is where it switches to 26. So wherever that edge is, again, we'll let that one respawn again because it's easy. 46, 26. 46, 26. So that's how accurate you're going to have to be to give yourself, that's where it kind of scales down. So 46, 26. So in my testing, I'm calling this a direct hit, 46, a near hit, 26. Now, on top of that, you've got another range, 26. Let's keep going. Now we hit 6. So in between 46, 26, and then we get 6. So here's the 6 range out here. Look at this. If someone's driving by, I am nowhere near them right now, and I am still getting 6. Definitely not an ideal number, but it's certainly more than 0. So now let's put assisted aim to its limits, and eventually, there it is. You'll see right when it's on the edge of the screen, just like that. So basically, if something is barely in view, but you're still shooting and it's got that target on it, you're still hitting it, but it's not giving you any damage, so it's going to 0. So you gotta be kind of in the edge of the screen there, just inside the edge to get that 6. So we got 46, 26, 6, and 0. So 46 somewhere in there, 26 about here, 6 over here, and 0 on the edge. that's 0. I'm sure I can't see it. There it is. That's 0. So there's your 4 kind of ranges for the assisted. And again, I called that, you'll see in the spreadsheet, I've got direct hit, near hit, far hit, and no hit. Obviously, the automatic mode doesn't have those different ranges because for it, it's fully locked. So now we have one more to kind of show you how this testing works. So let's go garage, stinger, gun, quick assisted, go down to manual aiming. This is 100% of your damage. Nothing's taken away. But caveat here, you got to be good. If you miss, you don't get anything. So that's the trick here. So as you can see, the KEO I is gone. There's no automatic targeting anywhere. So I have to hit it. 65. Now if I miss it, 0. Look at that. Just off of it too. I mean, this collider on this target is very tight, and you're going to find the same thing on the cars. If you're not actually hitting another car, you are going to deal 0 damage. So this is going to come into play in a big way. All right, so 65, 0, 65, 0. There we go. So manual aim, complete freedom, controller or mouse and keyboard. But again, you have to hit it or else you will not get anything. Look at this. Nothing, nothing, nothing. If I'm shooting close to this guy, I'm getting nothing. I have to get it right on him. So, with that in mind, let's go to the spreadsheet. Well, let's just run into this wall here. Okay, cool. Let's go to the spreadsheet. So here we are. Don't make fun of me. Yes, I made a spreadsheet for KEO. That's right. All right, so here's what I did. So let's go back, and you'll see that this car in the top left has 2,000 health and 1,000 armor. So obviously you have to go through that armor before you get to the health. And each car has a different amount, but doesn't matter for now. What I did was I just used basically 40 shots as my basis here. So let's say, just for point of reference, 40 shots with this vehicle. Now, the other thing to note is that the actual hit numbers, like this 65, is going to be different depending on what vehicle you're using. So this is just based on what I'm using here. So so this first one, we've got 65 hit points if we hit it directly, 0 if we don't hit it at all. So 40 shots, and what I did was I broke down kind of the percentages. So I went top to bottom here. So let's say direct hit, if you hit every single shot 100% of the time, you're going to do 2,600 damage to this car with 40 shots with the manual aiming. Here's assisted aiming, 100%, 46 points, going to do 1,840, so definitely a good bit less. Automatic aiming, going to do 1,200. Clearly, you're going to do less than half the damage. It is not ideal if you are hitting this thing 100% of the time to be using automatic aiming. But it starts to change a little bit as your aim changes. So I kind of put some fictional scenarios in here. So here we have 75% direct, 25% near. And as you can see, that near was kind of just right surrounding the target. So if we're able to do that, you got 75% direct hits, 25% near hits. You're going to get 1950 with manual. You're going to get 1640 with assisted in that case, in that instance. And of course, automatic is just going to be 1280 no matter what we do. So the gap closes here whenever you don't hit 100% of your shots, where the difference between assisted and manual is a lot closer. Now let's take it a little step further. 50% hits, 50% nears. So, okay, and I have for some reason 50% here, but that doesn't matter anyway. You got 50% directs and 50% nears. You got pretty good aim. You know, cars driving by, you're able to hit it, not hit it. You know, shot, on, off. Pretty good aim. If you're doing that, now you're coming down to 1,300 total damage out of 40 shots on manual. Now here's where it gets crazy. Assisted now takes the lead up to 1,440. Automatic, of course, still a 1,280. So if you're shooting 50% of your shots directly on the target and 50% near the target but not quite on it, you're probably going to want to use assisted in this case. I mean, if that's approximately where you fall. I mean, you know, a lot of other games have a nice hit percentage. You know, when you look around, you can kind of base maybe what you'll do in KEO and other games as to how accurate you normally are. If you're a 50-60% shooter in one game, you're probably going to be similar in this game because the mechanics are very similar. So you may want to look at possibly using assisted aiming if that's kind of what you're seeing. And then again, as we go down, it just gets even crazier. So like, let's go, this is 50% direct, 50% far. So this is, you're hitting them half the time, and the other half the time you're kind of all over the place. Your cursor's like on the screen, you can still see the car, but maybe he's driving fast and he's hard to hit, or he's across the map or whatever. And again, we're showing, because you're hitting 50% of them, you're still getting that 1300 right here from the manual aim. But again, it gets crazy because, as you can see, the calculation there, you're only getting 6 points per hit with the assisted aiming. So it brings you down to 1040, and then you got 1280, of course, with the automatic, because automatic's automatic. Now we can go through each number individually, but nothing else really there that stands out really crazy. You know, for me, I kind of consider myself maybe in the middle of the road for aiming. So like, I would say that I would fall probably in this range right here, where you would see like 30% direct hits, like directly on the car, and then maybe in the 30, 50, 70 range, something like that on the near hits. So this scenario, which is 30 direct, 70 near, is probably a pretty likely scenario for me. 780 on manual, 1280 on assisted, 1280 on automatic, because that's what automatic does. So either of these are good choices for you there. And then again, another kind of one here, and then I'm going to show you another cool stat. Direct hit, 30%. Near hit, 30%. Far hit, 30%. No hits at all, 10%. So 90% of your shots are in this thing and pretty close. 10% of them just go completely by the wayside. If that's the case, you're really looking at automatic aiming, which is crazy. Automatic does better in that case because it just keeps hitting every single time with that 32. Of note, automatic aiming hits 32 every single time. Near hit is 26 on the assisted. You're getting more points out of the automatic aiming by not even hitting anywhere near it compared to hitting near it with the assisted aim. So that's really crazy to me. That was kind of eye-opening to kind of see that. So now here's the important info to me. My opinion to do with all this data, which is like a bunch of numbers, and of course I can change this, and we can go with any of this stuff however we want. We're going to leave it at 40 for now. My opinion is to kind of assess your aim, maybe in this game and other games, and take a guess on where you think you fall. Are you cracked? Because if you're totally cracked, I took the top 5 here. I took these numbers right here and averaged them out. And if you have cracked aim, you're going to average in the 1500 range with manual, 1400 range with assisted, and only 1200 with automatic. So you're definitely going to want to go right here. Let's make that green. You're definitely going to want to go with the manual aiming if you have what you consider cracked aim. Now, is it a huge difference? Not really. If you're averaging out where sometimes you're only, you're hitting 50% and then just kind of missing sometimes, you're not super consistent, you might think about assisted. I mean, you might not lose that much, honestly. If you're a middle of the road aimer, you're a silver player in Halo, Rocket League, something like that, you're probably more like in that the silver range or the gold range, maybe even lower platinum, kind of depending on how you play. I think, if you look at these numbers, look at this. The assisted, the automatic aiming takes the cake at 1280. Now, as you can see, methodology here, what I did was I took the 5 in the middle and just averaged them out. So that's going to put you in that like 50 down to 30% range of aiming. So it's these 5 numbers right here, and just stuck an average on them. Again, you may look at assisted because it's really close, and if you're really hitting like 50% of your targets and you're barely missing on the other ones, I mean, the assisted is really going to give you a little bit of a boost. It's not huge, but you're going to get a little bit there. But overall, the automatic is actually still going to win. And then let's look in case you got that potato aim. Maybe you can't keep the cursor on the screen. If you play you play games and you find yourself constantly staring at the sky in a first-person shooter, or maybe staring at the ground and spinning circles, let's go ahead and let's swallow your pride, and let's go ahead and go to that automatic aiming. Okay, you're gonna get 1280 no matter what. 100% of the time, you're just gonna get that 1280 off of 40 shots. And obviously, you're more than doubling if you have potato aim and you're trying to use manual. It's not worth it. even assisted aiming is only going to get you 967. And you look at that graphic and you go, man, I'm losing half. It's like I'm losing so much of my damage, but overall it doesn't really matter, because if you're not hitting it, the damage numbers don't mean anything. And when you get even just far away from it, you're only getting 6 hit points per shot taken away from your opponent. So anyway, there's my data. Hopefully this is useful to someone. If you want any clarifications or any additional calculations or anything like that, feel free to hit me up. I can do other vehicles if you like. Obviously, there are other vehicles here in the game. I don't have all of them unlocked because I just don't win enough. You know what I mean? I don't win enough. But these guys just put out an awesome update for everyone. So now we can go through all these different vehicles. Go to the shop. You can buy them from there. Definitely check out the game. Free right now through Sunday. If you're watching this over the weekend, it will be free through Sunday. And then after that, it's still not expensive. It's very worth it. The player base has grown tremendously. These guys have done such an awesome job of finding ways to keep players in the game. Make sure everyone plays it. Please leave it a review if you can. And hey, if you're here for more KEO content, you know, let me know. Feel free to hit me up on Twitter, hit me up on YouTube, send me a message, comment, find me in the KEO Discord, and let me know, hey, you know, this is what I want to see next time, and I'll try my best to make content based on what you guys are looking for. So I appreciate everyone watching, and I hope to see you guys next time.